let's head over to Chicago, where in Chicago, of course, Chicago is Chicago. I love Chicago. Lots of families still out that way. Shout out to Ken and Keontae. But Chicago is a wild place. It's gone down a lot over the years. It's kind of hard for us to visit every year like we used to. You just standardly can't take the risk, specifically where my family lives in Chicago. But, Chicago does have its upsides. But one of the things that is not considered an upside in Chicago is its police force. Now, recently, what we found is, of course, you see a couple of cops, and car accidents are pretty common. I know that for a fact. I work in the collision sector. But we get into a situation where, a person will get into a car accident, they'll report it, report it to the insurance, get everybody taken care of, people get their cars fixed. Well, in this situation, let's see what the local news said first, because they some liars too. Let's see what the local news said first, and then we'll check out and see what really happened. So, this is a reader, so as always, bear with me. All right, and this is what is it? CBS News. SUV hits Chicago police squad car. 3 other cars on the west side. This is by Adam Harrington. Can't trust that cat. I'm going to tell you why later. This is from June 22nd, okay? A sport utility vehicle hit a Chicago police squad car and 3 other vehicles in the West Garfield Park neighborhood Sunday evening, police said. At 6:23 p.m., a Chevrolet Equinox was headed west on Monroe Street when it hit a marked police car that was traveling south on Cosner Avenue. The Equinox also hit a Dodge headed south on Cosner Avenue, police said. 2 parked Hyundais were also struck, police said. Police did not have information about injuries. Charges were pending late Sunday against the driver of the Chevy Equinox, police said. All right, so we're just going to jump real quick and check out another story, a more recent story. And this is from Yahoo Autos, Jalo Picnic, whatever that is. Chicago cops run stop sign, causes crash, charge the person they hit. And this is from Justin Hughes, and this is from today, Wednesday, July 2nd. All right. Surveillance camera footage appears to contradict the official story of a crash involving a Chicago police officer and a Chevy Equinox. The original story, as reported by CBS News on June 22nd, when the crash occurred, was that the Equinox was driving west on Monroe Street and crashed into the police car heading south on Cosner Avenue, sending both vehicles spinning into other parked cars. Police cited the Equinox driver for driving without insurance and 2 other counts, according to Fox 32. However, Fox 32 also acquired video from surveillance cameras at a convenience store at that intersection that tells a rather different story. The Equinox stopped at the intersection with Cosner Avenue, allowed cross traffic to pass, then proceeded slowly into the intersection. The Chicago police car entered the intersection at a high rate of speed while passing stopped traffic, slamming into the side of Equinox already in the intersection. Then both cars spun and crashed into parked cars, just like the original report said. The first parked car they hit was a Volkswagen Taos with Danielle Halsey, her fiance, and their 3 children inside. Damn. They were hospitalized in fair condition, and the Volkswagen is totaled. Sucks for them. There's no information on the injuries to the Equinox driver or the police officer, but deployed airbags in both vehicles are visible in the surveillance video. Airbags would not go off in a parked car, and there would be no reason to be wearing seatbelts. That's not true. And we're going to watch the video. Let's watch the video.
For narrative than what's in the actual police report. This crash happened on June 22nd, just after 6 in the evening, right in the Garfield Park neighborhood.
They struck that lady, and she was basically hanging out of her vehicle.
Danielle House wants answers after seeing this video of the collision. The footage comes from convenience store cameras. It shows a Chevy Equinox stopping at a stop sign while heading westbound on Monroe. Seconds later, a Chicago police vehicle heading north on Costner drives around a line of stopped cars at the stop sign and crashes into the Equinox. Though the squad's lights appear to be on, the video has no sound, so it's unclear if sirens were activated.
It's totaled. It's totaled. $40,000 car totaled.
The impact sent both vehicles into houses parked Volkswagen Taos. The CPD squad hit the front while the Equinox slammed into the back. Other parked cars were damaged too. Inside the Volkswagen houses fiance and their 3 small children. All 4 were taken to the hospital in fair condition.
I feel very hurtful that they almost killed over 4 to 5 people. Thank God that did not happen. You know, us being civilians, you want us to hold up to the law. And I feel that the police officers are not above the law.
Despite the video, Chicago police say the Equinox hit them and cited the driver for 3 violations, including driving without insurance.
I have to pay $900, and these things will be on my... Of course, I have gap insurance, but it's not my fault. Of course, we have insurance. That's a $40,000 car.
This is House's 2024 SUV before the crash, and this is what it looks like now. She says she wants answers from Chicago police and accountability.
People on the west side of the community are people too. We have lives, we have jobs, we have children. We are integral people. We're not just anybody. And you cannot just do anything over here in a community that you don't even live in and then go back to your home and think it's going to be okay. There's a thing called you reap what you sow. And this is it.
I did reach out to the Chicago Police Department. They are sticking by their original statement. I did ask them if COPA is investigating. They told me to reach out to COPA. I did that. Haven't heard back, but House did say she has filed an official complaint with COPA. Tia Ewing, Fox 32 Chicago.
She was speaking, wasn't she? Oh, girl was pissed too. Lost her Volkswagen Taos. Yeah, she want answers. She don't want to pay that deductible to get. Man, she hit. She upset. Vehicle total. $40,000 car. That's a $40,000 car. Shout out to old girl. Shout out to old girl. So, what can we say, y'all? I mean, you know, it's the. What we're talking about is the privilege of you know, the authority of police and creating narrative and just liars. You know, the evidence is pretty evident with the security cameras that we have and all the cameras out in the world these days. The evidence is there. So the fact that the police even decided that they were going to take the path of lying about what happened and how the Equinox driver caused the accident, and they didn't even speak on, you know, charging the Equinox driver for some problems. Now, mind you, I think that the Equinox driver was driving without insurance or some other things. So they probably found some reason to, you know, make the Equinox driver a bad person. You know, you're not driving with your driver's license. You're not driving with insurance. That's a big thing when getting pulled over. And it's a lot. You know, I watch a lot of, you know, TV shows, cop TV shows and such. So you do see a lot of people that are driving without insurance or without their driver's license expired or something like that. So, you know, they're going to lay that on that person. But the fact of the matter is that person didn't cause this accident. The police did it. And the fact that we still have police, even in Chicago, that can just bold-faced lie about a person causing an accident that caused so much damage, because in the long run, if they were to go ahead with accusing this person of causing that accident, then all that stuff would be his fault. They'd blame him for destroying that young lady's Volkswagen Taos, all the other vehicles that were destroyed. They're going to charge him with destroying the police vehicle. And they said they're still sticking to their story. So we're definitely going to, you know, reevaluate this later and keep a watchful eye on this story, because if they're going to continue with this story and just try to destroy this person that was driving a Chevy Equinox's life, when we can all see for a fact that it wasn't their fault, then that's just horrible. And the fact that it's even possible that they could still go through with it and still stick to their story and bypass all the information that even we have, and and that young lady spoke true about, then that just tells you where our world still is in certain places. You know what I mean? So